deals, no matter which side he took, that he's got and the opportunity and blah, blah, blah. But Dave is pursing this in terms of how it shows how salaries have increased now with a promotional war going on. I'll agree it's a bidding war. I don't know so much about the promotional war, but it's a bidding war. So when this bidding war, and that's what the WWE was afraid was going to happen, not because they're afraid of losing the war, but goddamn, if they see a guy that they think they can make some money with, or that can be a star in a wrestling business, or that they could elevate, but Tony wants them too, then if they take the big money offer from Tony because he wants them, WWE doesn't get them. And at the same time, they may never be developed as big a star as they could have been if WWE had got them, because they will be in AEW till whatever happens with AEW happens. And that's, I can see people in WWE getting mad, not only from a standpoint of the here and now, but a standpoint of, Jesus Christ, is this guy going to take the prime years away from a lot of just people in the wrestling talent pool for the sake of the industry that will be hamstrung or handicapped on their, or possibly prevented from getting on their path to stardom because they're taking the rich kids' money and they're hidden over there. So I think that, to me, is something we need to start looking at.
Well, again, too, it says something. If Powerhouse Hobbs had been there for years, and after all that time he was offered, if we are to believe what Dave said here, and we have no reason not to, we know who his sources are, that he was offered this amazing deal. He knows what the schedule will be. He knows there's a good chance I'll get this money, and at some point during the 3 or 5 year deal, I will just be at home for months at a time.
Yeah.
That's a reality you have to kind of expect. Even if you don't fall out with Tony, he'll just take you off TV for a while because he doesn't know what to do. He turned that down to go to WWE. WWE, see, you kind of hit on it there. They're unhappy about AEW because the more they have to pay wrestlers, the less they can gift themselves back.
Yeah.
The top executives in that company. Because you just have to look every quarter to see how much Nick Khan or Triple H or The Rock, how much any of these guys are getting in stock compensation, and then how much they turn around and sell in stock. That's why they don't want to pay the wrestlers a lot. We heard Triple H in Unreal say that his strategy with R-Truth, and again, we're talking about a wrestler in his mid-50s, but still, his strategy was make him think that it's over so that he'll come back to the table and give us a more reasonable deal. And he went the other way, and WWE did what they do now. They paid him. They've paid guys specifically not to go to AEW. They've paid guys specifically to be a part of what they're doing in Mexico against CMLL. Like, now they're paying guys. Just sometimes you have to... let me say it this way. There's probably never been a better time to call WWE's bluff on a contract and trying to get the most out of it. Never a better time than right now to do that. And again, they're putting all this money, if we are to believe it, behind Hobbs. Again, they can cut him at any time. It's a WWE deal. Makes you question why give him a shitty name. No one there could recognize that anything else, Strong House Jones, just anything fucking else would be better than Royce Keys. The winner of the match, the new WWE champion, Royce Keys. I don't see it. But again, Tony offered him a lot of money. He said no. Anna Jay apparently is floating around out there right now. Tony couldn't re-sign her.
Anna Jay's floating around? Boy.
You know what I mean.
She must have lost a little weight.
Well, Tony couldn't sign her, and we'll see what happens in the future. But Tony is now at the point where in the early days he could throw all this money at guys and get a lot of them. And now he could throw all the money at the guys. And if they've been in AEW a while, they probably want to get out. Unless you're a top guy and you're used well. That's why MJF will probably stay there for a very, very long time. he doesn't have to worry about being at the top. He's at the top. And it's a pretty cemented place in AEW once you're there. So but they're not going to, where's Tony going to get the talent now? Because if he can't win a bidding war against WWE, what is he going to offer them?
Well, now hold it. He can still win bidding wars against the WWE when the WWE wants him to win them. There's WWE's not just going to shit. We'll take everybody. But the problem is that most of the people who have a future want to go to the WWE. Most of the people who've had a past might want to go to AEW just for, a quick one. But there's no, as we've talked about, no game changers, no names, no stars that are going to appear that we haven't thought of and sign with AEW in the near future, or that are going to leave while they are still of major box office value. And we'll talk about the one that left here this past week and joined Tony is going to up their in-ring, and because it's AEW is going to matter zilch in terms of business.
And it's a good move for them, and he'll be a good fit there. We'll get there, but that's kind of an example of the kind of guy they can get off WWE TV right now. The Ricochet, the Tommaso.
There you go.
The guys who are kind of middle of the road, mid-card, and never going to get past that in WWE.
But that's kind of the problem, is that Tony, and see here, if he was offering Hobbs that much money, if he'd have took it, okay. It'd be just anybody out there listening to my voice right now, whatever you think about what I think about wrestling, or what wrestling you like, or whatever, make a mental list of the people that you think in AEW should be rated above in terms of whether they're in the main events or they're champions and all this stuff. Should have been not just work rate, but they're important people. How many were above Powerhouse Hobbs on that list? Brian, what would you say? 10, 15, 20? The way that Hobbs has been presented and used.
I don't have a number, but I would think it's a lot of guys. Hobbs has never been used past being the tough best friend or the muscle, or, just the guy in the group who's not the top guy.
He was the guy in the team with the guys that, okay, if he was going to make over $1 million, then those guys have to be pretty much making over $1 million, or some of them are about to, now that they've heard this, right? But I would think all of them already are. That's 20 guys making over $1 million a year. And when we went through the roster, he's got like 150 on some form of arrangement, whether he's stringing them along or has them locked down to contracts. And the productions that they're doing, where they do 2 national broadcasts with the travel and the crew and the fucking, for a while they were in the big buildings. Now they're in the small building, but still. That's, again, the points to what I've talked about with the fact that when making a huge profit, being responsible to stockholders or partners in the company at a privately held, anybody wants to make any money, Tony is free of those constraints. He don't have to make any money. And I know Uncle Dave keeps saying the second most profitable wrestling company in history because of the TV deal, because Tony tells him that. But if you sit and do the math, and profitable from the time they signed the deal going forward, like we just started there, or how much did Tony spend to get there? But how many millions is going out to talent that we never see? And the fucking giant travel bill that comes with bringing a bunch of guys that you never see on the TV to the TV to maintain a secondary vanity promotion. And all blah, blah, blah. The only way that Tony is able to do this is if he says, okay, now that I'm breaking even, I'll just break even. He doesn't care about making a profit. It's millions and millions of dollars.
Well, it pays to have a rich dad. I think that's the point. You can do whatever you want if your dad's a billionaire and he gives you a monthly allowance of plus or minus $1 billion or whatever the hell it is. But this is AEW. This is the way it's going to go, but we'll see how it goes in the future. When Tony wants to re-sign someone and WWE's in the same range salary-wise as to what Tony's offering, it's going to create a lot of interesting decisions.
Well, like I said, if you're on the way up, I'd go north. And if you're on the way down, I'd go south.
When AEW started and they signed a whole bunch of guys to multi-year deals for like $750,000 a year and more, at a time where that still was a lot of money. I mean, it still is, but you know what I mean with the way salaries have gone up in 6 years. And then when WWE realized we got nothing to worry about, they released all those people. They put them back into the general population and just hope some other group would grab them. So it'll be interesting to see because the money game has changed.
And that's the thing is once they saw what was going on, they're like, okay. And they didn't think that anybody would go this far. They thought, look at this shit. And now it's malingering on. But yeah, but it's changed the boys can make a ton of money now. It's just nobody could ever work enough to get any good. Because when you got, I mean, well, in the WWE, they have a program in place where if you can wrestle in front of people often enough to improve and also be instructed and have some support from booking. In AEW, if you're not on their A or B show and you're doing a Ring of Honor match, is anybody wrestling 3 times a week? There ever? Would they maybe 3 times over 2 days because that's where they tape? I don't know. But the point is, you're not really going to progress, you know, so if you're on the way up in the business, go north, young man. If you're on the way down in the business, go south, young man, old man. But you know, you could cash in another way, Brian.
Yes, you certainly can, Jim.
I was hoping you'd agree with me. Folks,
agree.
You don't need to have billionaires bidding over you to cash in. All you've got to do is go to our friends at Prize Picks because the big game is almost here. You know what I'm talking about. What is it, February the 8th-ish, whatever, then there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And Brian, there's a big deal going on right now. This week, Prize Picks has a max discount for the big game, which is live in the app right now. Or is it living in the app right now? I'm not sure. Is it live or live?
It is live, but it doesn't necessarily connotate.
But it's still living.
Yes.
Is it a living entity?
It's
in the app. It's spreading everywhere. It's taking over like a virus. Drake May, you've heard of him. He just needs 1 passing yard. More than a passing fancy. That's the next measurement up, a passing yard. 1 passing yard for the max discount to win. Yay! You just add another player to your lineup, and if your picks hit, you can cash in. And then you just drive down the street and find your local Prize Picks panel van, and you go up and you present your ticket. You say, give me that cash. And the guy just peels it out to you right there, right out the window.
Not the way it works.
Well, it's instantaneous. They've got you on file now.
It's instantaneous.
Used to, you had to
on the app. You don't need to see a panel van or go outside or see anyone.
Well, no,
the windows are open.
You had to walk down the street for a while till they checked your fucking background. But now it's instantaneous because it's computerized. Sometimes if you walk down the street, you'd have to buy crack to come back.
What?
But I'll tell you what, folks. Right now, if you want to hop in your panel van and go to winning land, Prize Picks is available everywhere that you want to go, and you can find your community with the new social feeds feature. You can share Prize Picks with your friends, copy lineups, Use them as an inspiration for your own pics, plagiarism, candid photography. You can even follow Prize Picks partners and tailor fade their pics with just one click. So whether you're a tailor or a fader, one way or another, one click can get you rich. And they've got early payouts. We've talked about this. Just make sure that nothing happens at the end of the game to screw things up, or you'll have people looking for you. And with Prize Picks, you don't have to wait until next year's draft to keep playing fantasy. You can have a fantasy every night if you want, even in the playoffs with the fantasy football. Brian, what football players do you fantasize about?
I don't necessarily fantasize about football players, but we can all think about the players and the big moves and the big plays during the big game on February 8th. The big February 8th. Are you ready, Jim? I'm thinking big prizes, big picks.
It's all happening.
It's all happening.
The big downs, the big snaps, the big plays, the big hangovers afterwards. Folks, right now, join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 sports pick app. That's by downloading the Prize Pick app today and use the code JCE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is the code JCE at the Prize Picks app to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Imagine if having a fantasy like that for only $5. Well, fuck, these are prices like from Vegas in the 70s. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
That's right, Prize Picks, it's good to be right. They will leave you alone in person. But the big game on the 8th, make sure you got your picks with Prize Picks.
Do you know you could get quality hookers in the 70s in Vegas for $50?
You said $5 before. I was going to call you out for that. That seemed like a ridiculous thing for the 70s.
Well, no, I was counting in the $50.
You said $5. You can't count. What do you mean you were counting in the $50? You said $5.
You're gonna get if that's $5 of your money, but you're gonna get $50 in lineups. That's like only contributing $5 to the around the world trip.
Again, we're talking metaphorical hookers, and you can hook your picks with Prize Picks. One more time, yes. Jim. A deal for the listeners.
Well, if you had a $5 hooker, you'd have to hook your pick or pick your hook or pick your pick or whatever you just said. But for $55, well, you got a reasonable expectation. Nevertheless, that's the code JCE to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup at Prize Picks.
It's good to be right.
That's where I'd said that already.
So this one's Mars.
Yeah, this one Mars.
And what's this one?
And this one Pakistani Mars.
Mass.
Yeah, Mars. Coffee.
So Mars and Mass.
Mars, yeah.
But would you say this one is real?
Yeah, this one is good one.
Is this real?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's a fake Mars bar, and this is an even faker one called the Mass bar. So I think we get one of each, my friend.
So we are back in the hotel. We have the Mars and the Mass bar. So first, we're going to identify, is the Mars real or is it some Pakistani copy? I only say that because the packet just seems real dodgy. So, it's very interesting. It actually looks like it's been sitting in the shop for maybe a number of years, like pre-COVID. Because Mars bars in my country, they don't look like this. I mean, this looks moldy. And it's getting, it's breaking up everywhere. So it does have the unique Mars design that we all have grown to love. Definitely a different consistency. I would say this is not real. I'm calling it early. That is real. Right, the mass bar. Let's give it a go. Alright, so even though it's fake, look at that. Very clean removal there in the packet. Nothing left behind. We don't have that unique Mars design on there. So let's see how it goes. Okay. That's what you're talking. It's the same kind of stuff on the inside there. Let's go. No. No, it's shit, man. It's a mix between spaghetti and those dodgy protein bars that you get from the protein shop that cost like $7. That's horrible. 0.5, man, I gotta clean my teeth.
So this one's Mars.
Yeah, this one Mars.
And what's this one?
And this one Pakistani Mars.
Up to me and my photographer woke up just 2 hours ago, and as you can see, our vehicle is just caked with ice. And take a look at this. This all happened this morning. Now, I'm going to show you what you could do if you happen to have the right equipment to help de-ice your vehicle. This is Presto. It's a ice fighter spray. I've never used this. We're going to try it out. According to the directions, all you have to do is spray. Here we go. And you apparently wait 15 seconds. So we're gonna wait 15 seconds. Apparently, I can already hear it starting to work right now, right? You can start hearing it crack. And then afterwards, what you're supposed to do is simply just scrape it off. Well, clearly, I need a little bit more time. And clearly, you're supposed to move the windshield wipers up. My photographer is from the south.
Blaming it on the photographer.
To do that, obviously, I didn't either. But this is what the instructions say to use. And I think that this illustrates, to be honest,
And this is what people make fun of the sound.
We're going to spray a little bit more.
Bro.
Clearly, we have an issue here.
Still not gonna work,
if you're
man.
Like anyone in North Fulton, this is what your vehicle may be looking like if
Probably
you don't have
spray
a
it
garage
before ice
to
arrives.
put your vehicle in. So guys,
Or
if you're
just
waking
turn
up,
the heat on the car.
You can't open the door, silly.
You start to
up to me and my photographer woke up just 2 hours ago, and as you can see,
You've just finished a hard day of graft. You're about to head home to your family, whether that be your mum and dad or your partner and kids. Wrong. You neglect your real priorities and head straight to the real priority, getting absolutely off your face at the pub.